Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Good. My name is David Phillips, and I lead product here at EA. I'll be joined on stage today by some colleagues, Teresa Sinopoli, who leads product, Peter Miron, who's head of our data innovation teams, and a special guest. In the next 20 minutes or so, we will show you some of the coolest things we've been working on in the last year and give you a sneak preview of what's coming. We know that you can always use more data. Our priority is to create data that make a difference, data that are high quality, easy to access and use, and embedded in workflows that provide answers to the key questions you're asking. That's what we do. We're focusing on three things: getting gap-filling data to you faster, delivering in flexible ways in our own modern configurable platforms, and also making our workflows available to you via APIs, so our expertise is at your fingertips. And thirdly, leveraging new types of data and processes, big data and AI. So first off, let's talk about getting gap-filling data to you faster. Last year, we showed pre-releases of some new databases, and I'm going to give you a whistle-stop tour of a few of them today, and in the process, show you some of the ways in which we're getting that data to you in faster and simpler ways. And the way I'm going to take you through these mimics the journey that many of us have taken in Canada, from visiting to settling. So let's start with visiting. Visitor View uses mobile movement data to let you see where tourists are coming from, whether that's from within Canada, from the US, or other international countries, and also where they're going within Canada. So here, we're looking at total trips to Alberta so far this year compared to last year. You can get also other insights, such as how many nights visitors are staying and how many nights per stay. As you can see, it's all available in a simple, easy to use and easy to understand dashboard. And once we've defined the origin and destination of the visitors, we can shed light on their shopping and activity preferences via links to other EA databases, including Prism. So we've looked at visiting. Let's look at settling in Canada. As Doug mentioned earlier, our new to Canada data let you see where people are coming from and also where they're going to when they settle in Canada, from the national level all the way down to neighborhoods. And when you look at the data, it's clear that the places that people are coming from and where they're going to have changed in recent years. For instance, if we look at the top 8 countries that recent newcomers to Canada have come from, you can see large changes quarter by quarter. And using our data, I've honed in on the country that saw the largest increase from the previous quarter, which is Pakistan. I can then see not just where people are coming from, but also where they're going to. And because our data are modeled to the ground, you can then gain a broader and richer understanding of both the newcomers themselves and also the areas they're going and settling in. So the areas marked on this map are home to 80% of the new permanent residents of Calgary from Pakistan and have 7 times the penetration of Calgary as a whole. Looking at event and advertising opportunities in these neighborhoods would be great for anyone trying to connect with this particular community. So while Visitor View and New to Canada help us understand the tourists we welcome and our newest immigrants, what's key for marketers to understand is what people do when we're actually here. Well, we go places, we do things, we buy things. We may even, if you're anything like me, start to indulge in Canadian delicacies such as ketchup chips, beaver tails, poutine, and tourtière. And now the only downside to these undoubted delicacies is after a while we may feel the need to trim up a little bit. We may look to get fit and finally join the gym we've been saying we're going to after all these years. Now, as marketers, we can turn now to Footfall, an easy-to-use dashboard that shows where people are going and what type of people are going to different places. In this instance, we can see foot traffic to 3 different gym brands compared to each other over time, and also what type of people have finally gone to the gym. So we're exhausted by the workouts, it's time to sit back on the couch and reward ourselves with some binge viewing of the latest streaming entertainment. Clickscapes captures visitors and visits to individual mobile apps and websites from both cell and Wi-Fi services to provide a comprehensive and independent view of digital behavior. You can look at individual sites and also interests like travel, category, shopping, and the like. In this case, we're looking at some popular streaming sites and how visits to those sites ebb and flow over time. Clickscapes captures not just what people are doing online, but also where that activity is taking place. And some of you, if you want, you can see this at the back in the Solution Center outside. So for instance, here we can see which neighborhoods within Burlington are watching Disney Plus and what kind of people they are. So we settled down on the couch, and after about 25 minutes of searching through different menus, we finally settled on a nature documentary. But unfortunately, it's one of those nature documentaries that always ends up with us being the main predator, and we feel terrible about climate change and everything that we're doing. Feeling guilty about our carbon footprint, we look outside, we look at our gas guzzler, knackered old gas guzzler in the driveway, and it's finally time for change. Modelled based on vehicle registration data, EV Trends provides a quarterly update on demand for electric and hybrid vehicles. You can see not only who currently owns an electric vehicle, but also who's likely to buy one in the future. And you can then look on who those likely future buyers are by looking at their prism segments and focusing on where they live by drilling down to the neighbourhood level. And as Jan mentioned earlier, as government mandates on zero emissions vehicles begin to kick in, knowing where adoption is under or over target will be increasingly important. So all in all, it's pretty exciting to have all of these new fantastic data products. And this was not the full list, I can assure you of that. We make them available to use, for you to use in different ways depending on what you need. The data can be included in projects we do for you, or to bring in-house for your data scientists to incorporate in their BI tools, as well as our amazing purpose-built platforms that deliver thousands of workflows, algorithms and reports in one easy package that enable you to get decisive action quickly. And with that, it's my pleasure to turn it over to my colleague, Teresa, to provide an update on how we're embracing innovation to deliver in flexible ways. Teresa.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Teresa Snopley, and I lead the platform innovation team here at EA. I'm very excited to share with you today some of the ways in which we're investing in new technology to provide you, our clients, with better, faster, and more meaningful ways to get insights. I'm going to focus today on Envision, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. As Jan mentioned, we have about 1,000 Envision users of our application who run thousands of reports every month. The first thing I wanted to mention was to announce the near completion of the migration to Microsoft Azure. Some of you are probably wondering, what does this even mean? It means we will no longer bring Envision down to do data updates and maintenance. It means the overall performance of the application will improve. One of the other items I wanted to highlight is in our current system is batching, which means you can do things like run multiple customer and ranking reports, import multiple target groups, and down results in batch, saving you time, a lot of time. In this MobileScapes example, I selected 2 automotive banners from our GeoFriends library. This is Mazda and Toyota, and I pulled weekday visitors visiting these dealerships for the past 8 months. I batched reports for every location in Ontario, which in this case is 132 locations. The report provides visitation by day of week and by time of day. It also gives you the top 5 prism segments and some key demographics of those visitors to those dealerships. And the report includes a map and a table identifying where those visitors are coming from. The report is available to all of our MobileScapes licensees, and as you can see, I produced these reports in 14 minutes. So we're also investing heavily in the next generation of our platform. Those of you who were here last year may remember me talking about our plans to build a brand new ground-up version of our Envision application, a project we call internally Envision 2.0. Envision 2.0 is built on the most modern and secure technologies, including Azure ArcGIS and Snowflake. It will be faster, more reliable, and built to the highest security standards in Canada. I wanted to give you an update on all the exciting progress we've made and to give you a bit of a sneak peek on what we've done and some of the work that's coming. So for Envision 2.0, we set out 3 main objectives: embed our expertise, get to insights faster, and make it even easier to use. The first objective, and probably the most important objective, is to embed our expertise. As many of you know, we can draw upon a unique pool of expertise from mathematicians, marketing specialists, data scientists, to geodemographers. We will continue to embed privacy rules. We embed all that complicated math, and we will continue to do all the geoprocessing throughout the system. So what's new is we've added a series of what we call prescribed report templates. These are meaningful visualizations packaged together that prescribe the flow a user should use to solve a problem or gain valuable insights. Our methodologies and best practices are embedded. So this is one of the examples from our new profiling template. We call them quadrant charts or battlegrams. So relying on your customer data or one of our survey-derived variables, this chart shows the index of penetration and the index of potential for each of the 67 segments of your product or service. On the top right are those segments that have the highest potential. You're doing very well with these segments. Your strategy is to continue to dominate here. On the top left, you are underpenetrated compared to the market. So you may want to drill down by market, channel, or motivators to invest in moving these segments across to the right. In the bottom left, your performance is as expected. What innovation or new approaches can move them up the penetration index? And finally, you're doing better than expected with those on the bottom right. Why? What can you learn and keep on doing? Now, everything has meaning in this chart. The bubbles show the segment number, which represents socioeconomic score. The size can reflect the number of existing or potential customers. And the colors, in this case, show urbanity. So with one click, you can turn this view of 67 segments to a bubble chart of your custom target groups. And since you can produce these charts in seconds with your data and ours for customers and markets from national views or trade areas, you can update them as often as you update your sales data or as often as your CRM is updated. You can use these battlegrams to test and continually learn. And with another click, some of the stuff I love is mapping. You can see your quadrant charts or dominant strategies locally. So the maps in Envision 2.0 are dynamic. You can zoom into smaller neighborhoods or zoom out to larger areas, and the calculations are done automatically for you. The second objective was to help you to get to insights faster. We want you to spend less time getting to insights so you can spend more time putting it into action. We've made the reports iterative. So using the sidebar, you can make changes on the fly, and the report updates automatically. All the reports will include tools to easily summarize, filter, and sort the metrics. We've also included multiple ways to do Prism profile comparisons. We added a fever line on the left and automated side-by-side profiles on the right, so there's no need to export data into Excel. All the tabs are linked, so if you change one thing on one tab, the reports that make sense will also change on the other tabs. And you can customize and save these templates with your own terminology, column preferences, views, and branding. Along with embedding our expertise and getting you to insights faster, we also want to make it easier to use. All the reports will be pre-populated with sample data, and we'll always use their appropriate benchmarks. Once you have what you want, you can save it and share it with your team. Tables and maps will be linked where it makes sense, and it alleviates the need to build maps from scratch. And finally, you can work on projects with other Envision users in your organizations and share them as a team. Those are just a few of the examples of how we're embedding our expertise, moving to insights faster, and making it easier to use. Envision 2.0, I should mention, is a part of a new integrated platform built on new data infrastructure and modular architecture, providing more flexibility in how you access our data, including a new range of APIs that we will be releasing. We will restart releasing modules in the fall. Envision 2.0 will run parallel to our existing system. You will access the new functions or the modules as they become available and as you need them. There's no real big transition, and our account, training, and support teams are always here to help you. I hope you're as excited as I am with this innovation, and I'm going to now turn it over to my colleague, one of those geeks, Peter Marin, who will talk about harnessing big data. one of his favorite subjects.
Good afternoon. So, as Therese and David mentioned, in addition to modernizing our platforms, we've been investing significantly in our new data that feeds those platforms. Specifically, we've been focused on how we can harness the breadth, depth, and frequency of big data to generate insights that are unique, actionable, and privacy safe. In its raw form, big data is large, unstructured data, de-identified, not normalized, nor necessarily representative. For example, through our partnership with the telecom providers and app data aggregators, we have access to an enormous amount of unstructured signal data that flows into our systems each and every day. This includes data on where phones are traveling to and how long they're spending in particular places. We create sophisticated proprietary models, in part using our existing demographic and behavioral databases, to estimate ground truth from these big data sources as accurately as possible. For some of the products you've already seen, these daily feeds of truly big data enable us to release weekly, monthly, and quarterly data, augmenting the annual data you rely on. We use mobile phone movement data as inputs for our models. This allows us to create estimates for how likely different people are to go to different places. When linked to our massive library of proprietary geofences, this means we can see the propensities for different groups to visit over 150,000 specific locations, such as stores, banks, car dealerships, malls, events, and more. If the specific location has not been defined, no problem. We can analyze custom geofences. The key to producing reliable estimates for actionable insights in the work we do is the work we do to clean and curate the inputs and normalize and weight the data to make them representative. Without expert curation of the source data, relying on our experience and knowledge, the source mobile location data can be subject to noise and variance, leading to misleading estimates. Similarly, big data is not necessarily representative of the population's behavior. Our experience and expertise with spatial data science enables us to normalize and weight the data to make them representative. We know Canada is different, and models built with American populations in mind do not port nicely. This is in no small part a result of Canadian devices only producing about 1/10 of the data that American devices produce. Having worked with these big mobile location data sources and evaluating their coverage in Canada for over 5 years, now we are confident in our results and in our ability to make continuous improvements. But above all else, we need to ensure that our suppliers provide only data that are compliant with the laws of the jurisdiction in which they're collected and with Canadian standards. EA is committed to more than just obeying the laws in all of our data development. We embed a full suite of privacy-enhancing technologies in our processes and test our resulting products against generally accepted compliance standards, including, for example, the risk of re-identification. We ensure that big data are processed according to the following principles of the current Canadian laws, the expected revisions, GDPR, the Quebec legislation, and other pending and current regulations. In fact, ensuring that we use data in ways that consumers would expect and with full transparency being so fundamental to us that we will announce this fall our completion of our Privacy by Design certification and adherence to the new ISO standard just announced in 2023, all of which is currently in the final stage of certification as we speak. I am proud and humbled to work with such a great team of data scientists, spatial analysts, and developers who are building privacy into all aspects of our work, supported by our Data Governance Office, our Chief Compliance Officer, and the Compliance Office. This is not new for us. Privacy has been a core pillar of our work for over 4 decades, and we will continue doing this while at the same time using best practices to produce the most accurate data possible. Thank you. Now I would like to turn the podium over to Jen, who I suspect has one last reveal for us.
Thanks, Peter. Well, as you can see, we've been working on a lot of things, and we're very excited. The truth is we could have taken half a day to talk to you about the products that we've been working on, both new and upgraded products, about the new platforms, give you a little bit more information about the timing. We're going to do that through our webinars and our regular communication. But there's one last thing I want to bring up, and I want to hear from you on this. We believe that these near real-time data products that you've seen, the ones that David showed, the ones that Teresa brought into some of the examples, that what we really need, this is like key, closer to real time to help us understand when we reach out, when we spend money in our locations, on our media, what really makes a difference. Did I get more foot traffic? Did my competitor benefit from what I did? Who clicked on my site? Was it the segments that I targeted? We heard from some customers about how well it worked. But as I pointed out this morning, we're working on data sharing, collaboration, first-party tools in order to get measurement more effectiveness. And on privacy compliance, we're really working on how our third-party data can be married and help you. I think we need to do a better job, and we're focusing on doing a better job of that last mile reporting. The Envision users and data scientists in the room have lots of opportunity to do the deep dive and create the reports and bring the understanding. But many business leaders keep pushing us for simple outcomes. So we're standing up a new team to focus on what I would call pulse reports, using a variety of our data products together to give you an update of what's happening. These reports would be delivered weekly by email or some kind of a link. I don't know the tech anymore, but they would be actually bundled executive-ready reports that either you would benefit from or that you would know who to give them to. So these are be targeted to CEOs and CFOs and CMOs. This is a sample of a report that I call Shift Share. It's based on Clickscapes and Mobilescapes that you've heard a lot about. It shows the clicks to websites and in-store traffic week over week. In this case, we've taken the example of looking at geofences around the large banks, and we've looked at Ontario, and we've said, okay, for the last week of the reporting period, how many people walked into the store? How many people clicked on that website? How do we look at the comparison, and both in terms of the absolute values or in terms of the share? So if we look at the share that we get and we look at it compared to the week before, or we look at the share compared to the same week in the prior year, then we can really start to understand more of a monitoring. Now, these data may not be exactly consistent because of the nature of big data, but we believe that if we get these real-time reports where we can actually give you a report on a Friday for a week ago Thursday and show you who was coming in and who was clicking and take the other data and bring it to you at your fingertips, that this will actually help you make better use of then diving deeper and using these data to help you. So you can see your brand compared to your competitors. The example we've started with is for banking. We also are starting to build an example for grocery. We want to release these reports in October. We're willing to send them for free for a short period of time to organizations who don't subscribe to Clickscapes and Mobilescapes. But if you do, then these will be the kind of reports that we will produce for you so that you can concentrate more on the execution that we believe your masters who are CFOs and CMOs are going to want to get out of this more of a monitoring report. So last year I had a President's Special. This is my President's Special this year. If you're in a bank or a grocery store, or if you say, no, I'm in the renovation industry, you got to do it for hardware, I want to produce these reports. I got my own special team that's going to do it, and we're going to deliver this to you because we want to understand, is my thesis right? We've got a lot of great data. We've got a lot of great tools. You guys get to, do a lot of work with them, but we also want to have answers, and we want to get the answers to you quickly. So give me a call. You can find me, jan.kessel@environicsanalytics.com. Tell me if you want to participate in helping us build this product. Now, our focus for the next year is to build more intelligent reporting, to add it to the broad range of tools and platforms that we've got. We can use your help so that we use our resources more efficiently. I want to show you that we have an army of data scientists and programmers. We have a lot of product people and a lot of marketing people and a lot of consultants, but these are the ones that we don't usually let out of the office. No, sorry, this is our R&D group. This is our project management group. These are our data scientists. These are our data development people. These are modelers. These are the software development people, probably the QA people. And these are the people that enable us to help you with all of this work that we want to do. They're here for you. We aspire to package up what they know and what they've been taught over the years by so many experts and make it available to you so that you can focus on what's missing. And we're very excited about the opportunity to do that together. So give them a hand. They're still coming. Sometimes I meet people and they say, oh yeah, you're the census people. You're the people who got that census data for the trade areas. Not so much anymore. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. IT team and the data governance office as well that I didn't mention. Okay, that's product. That's what we do here. So thank you once again to our backroom teams for their ongoing dedication and commitment to building all those products that we got to show you today. I'd now like to invite Olivia Lalonde and Ryan Spencer back to the stage for the second of our 3 raffle draws. Then we have a transition into the fifth and final set of breakouts for today. After that, you get candy, then you come back for a quick session, and then we party. So hang in there. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.